There is something wealthy Jewish millionaires do at 6 in the morning that most poor people never even imagine. It is not prayer, and it is not working harder. It is something so simple that when you hear it, you may think it is obvious. But here is the problem. What is obvious is rarely practiced, and what is not practiced never transforms a life. Ancient Jewish financial wisdom is not about having more money. It is about mastering money before it begins to master you. And the third habit I will reveal today is so powerful that it transformed the life of a man who went from selling shoes on the street to owning a chain of stores across 3 countries. And everything began with a single decision he made on a quiet Tuesday morning. Before we go deeper, if you are someone who wants to understand money differently, if you want to break the cycle of financial stress and start building real wealth, take a moment right now to subscribe to this channel, like this video, and leave a comment telling me where you are watching from. Because the ideas you are about to hear are not just information, they are mental frameworks that can reshape the way you see money for the rest of your life. Here is a truth that most people are never taught. Money does not follow people. Money follows patterns. And when you change your patterns, your financial reality has no choice but to change with them. For centuries, Jewish communities survived exile, persecution, and economic collapse. Yet again and again, they rebuilt wealth. Not by chance, not by luck, but by disciplined ways of thinking that shaped their decisions every single day. There is a teaching from the Talmud that changed how many people understand wealth. It asks a simple question: who is rich? And the answer is unexpected: the one who rejoices in what he already has. At first, this sounds like settling. It sounds like being satisfied with less. But that interpretation misses the deeper meaning. Jewish financial wisdom does not teach complacency. It teaches emotional mastery. Because true wealth begins when you stop being controlled by money and start controlling your relationship with it. Look around you for a moment. How many people do you know who earn a decent income, yet live under constant stress? How many people receive good salaries but always feel like they are behind? The issue is not always how much money comes in. The real problem is the emotional chaos that controls how that money is handled. Fear leads to impulsive spending. Anxiety leads to poor decisions. Comparison leads to unnecessary purchases. And slowly, without realizing it, money slips through their fingers. Wealthy Jewish millionaires practice something deeply rooted in their tradition, a concept known as order. Before they spend, they bring order. Before they invest, they bring order. Before they dream about earning more, they organize what they already have. And what many people fail to understand is that order is not restrictive. Order is freedom. Because when your finances are structured, your mind becomes free to create, to think, and to build long-term wealth instead of constantly chasing money. There is a powerful story from the Torah that perfectly illustrates this mindset. When Joseph was called to interpret Pharaoh's dream, he did more than predict 7 years of abundance, followed by 7 years of famine. He proposed a strategy. During the years of abundance, set aside a portion for the difficult years ahead. He recommended saving 1/5 of the harvest during the prosperous years. This was not just wisdom, it was discipline. Joseph did not react emotionally to abundance. He governed abundance with foresight and structure. And that decision did not just save individuals, it saved an entire nation. This is the difference in thinking. When many people receive extra money, their first thought is, what can I buy? When disciplined wealth builders receive extra money, their first thought is, how can I multiply this? The difference is not in the amount. The difference is in the mental pattern. Ancient teachings emphasize something profound. The one who cannot master impulses will eventually be mastered by circumstances. And here is a truth few people are willing to accept. Financial order does not begin with spreadsheets or complicated systems. It begins with brutal honesty, honest awareness of where you truly stand. Wealth builders know exactly how much they earn. They know how much they owe. They know how much they spend. They face their numbers without fear. Many people avoid looking at their finances because it creates discomfort. But fear without action creates paralysis. Wealth builders do something different. Every single week, they sit down with the truth. They review, they adjust, they correct. They do not wait until they feel ready. They do it because discipline is not about feelings. It is about consistency. And over time, this quiet habit creates a gap so large that it appears to be luck. But it is not luck. It is discipline practiced repeatedly. Now let us go deeper. There is a concept in Jewish mystical teachings often described as cause and effect on a deeper level. It sounds spiritual, but its application is extremely practical. Everything you receive in the physical world is first planted through your actions. In simple terms, you cannot harvest what you have not planted. Many people wait to harvest before they plant. They say, when I have more money, then I will invest. When I earn more, then I will save. When things improve, then I will become disciplined. But wealth builders reverse the order. They plant first, even when resources are small. They save before abundance arrives. They invest before they feel comfortable. They create discipline before success appears. Because they understand something most people overlook. Wealth is not built in moments of abundance. Wealth is built in moments of discipline, long before abundance arrives. When things get better, then I will save. When I earn more, then I will invest. When I finally feel comfortable, then I will give. Do you see the pattern? Many people are always waiting for the harvest before planting the seed. But that is not how life works. That is not how money works. And it is certainly not how Jewish prosperity principles have operated for thousands of years. Wealth builders act before abundance appears. They save when they feel they have little. They invest when it feels uncomfortable. They give even when it requires sacrifice. This behavior may seem irrational to the average person, but beneath it lies a powerful understanding that has guided generations, because they understand something deeper. They understand that abundance is not created by comfort. Abundance is created by disciplined action before comfort arrives. There is a powerful teaching often referenced from ancient scripture that captures this principle. It speaks about bringing a portion of what you earn before abundance is visible, trusting that greater provision will follow. This is not merely a religious statement. It is a mindset. It is a psychological and behavioral framework. When you act as if abundance is already possible, your mind begins to search for opportunities instead of focusing on scarcity. This is not about pretending to be wealthy. It is about planting seeds with intelligent faith. It is about making small but consistent actions that align with the mindset of someone building wealth. Because when you behave like a disciplined investor before you become wealthy, you train your mind to operate differently. There is a real example that illustrates this idea. A man once struggled financially, earning just enough to survive. Yet every week before using his income for anything else, he set aside a small portion for giving and another portion for investing. Friends around him questioned his logic. They told him he needed to stabilize himself first before giving or investing. But his response reflected a deeper mindset. He explained that he was not giving from what was left. He was giving from what he had, trusting that disciplined action would open new opportunities. Over time, something began to change. His mindset shifted. Instead of constantly worrying about lack, he began noticing possibilities. He became more attentive to business opportunities. He developed discipline. He built relationships. Years later, he had created multiple successful ventures. This was not magic. It was pattern. When you demonstrate through consistent actions that you believe in growth, your subconscious mind begins to operate differently. Instead of focusing on limitations, it begins identifying possibilities. Instead of reacting emotionally, it begins planning strategically. This is how wealth begins to form quietly, long before it becomes visible. Jewish financial wisdom emphasizes this order. Plant first, harvest later, always in that sequence. Many people say they cannot invest because they do not have enough money. Wealth builders often recognize that they do not have enough precisely because they never began investing. One mindset waits for perfect conditions. The other creates conditions through consistent action. There is a simple truth repeated across generations. The best time to plant was yesterday. The second best time is now. And here is where something powerful happens. When you invest consistently, even in small amounts, your brain begins to shift from consumer thinking to investor thinking. Consumers wait for money to spend. Investors create systems that generate money. Consumers focus on immediate satisfaction. Investors focus on future freedom. Consumers chase income. Investors build assets. Ancient teachings often highlight the idea that those who plant with sacrifice eventually harvest with joy. But first comes discipline. First comes delayed gratification. And this is where most people give up, because discipline is uncomfortable. Sacrifice is difficult. Patience requires emotional strength. Many people live entirely in the present moment. They focus on what they can enjoy today. Wealth builders focus on the future they are constructing, and this difference changes everything. There is a powerful teaching that says a wise person sees the future. This does not mean predicting events. It means building the future through decisions made today. Wealth is not created by earning more today alone. Wealth is created by building systems that generate income tomorrow, next year, and decades into the future. One of the reasons Jewish communities historically rebuilt wealth repeatedly is because they often thought in terms of generations, not months. When someone teaches their child discipline, they are not only thinking about immediate success, they are thinking about long-term stability. They are thinking about grandchildren. They are thinking about legacy. That is how wealth becomes sustainable. Many people ask what they can buy this month. Wealth builders ask what asset they can build that will provide freedom in 5 years. One mindset thinks in expenses. The other thinks in assets. One chases immediate pleasure. The other builds long-term abundance with patience and strategy. There is a well-known story that illustrates this thinking. A wise traveler once saw an elderly man planting a tree. Curious, he asked how long it would take for the tree to produce fruit. The old man answered that it would take many years. The traveler then asked why he would plant something he might never personally enjoy. The old man smiled and explained that he had benefited from trees planted by previous generations, and now he was planting for those who would come after him. This is the mindset that creates dynasties. This is the mindset that builds lasting wealth. When you begin thinking in generations rather than months, your decisions change. You become more cautious with debt. You stop chasing quick money that disappears quickly. You start building systems rather than chasing short-term results. Wealth builders invest in education that compounds over time. They develop skills that increase their value. They create businesses that generate recurring income. They purchase assets that grow gradually. Meanwhile, many people focus on acquiring items that lose value quickly. This is not about judgment. It is about recognizing patterns. Long-term vision is not sacrifice. It is delayed intelligence. It is saying no today to say yes to greater opportunities tomorrow. It is choosing discipline now to enjoy freedom later. Patience with direction always surpasses urgency without direction. While many people focus only on immediate outcomes, wealth builders are planting seeds that may not produce visible results for years. They invest in relationships. They develop expertise. They create systems quietly, because becoming wealthy is not a single event. It is a process that begins with vision and continues with daily discipline. There is also something deeper. For many, managing money wisely is not only a financial act. It is a responsibility. It is recognizing that resources require stewardship. A powerful idea often shared is that individuals are given the ability to create wealth, not wealth itself. That means responsibility lies in action. Some people focus on hoping for money. Wealth builders focus on gaining wisdom to multiply resources. Some wait for provision. Others develop strategy. One waits for miracles. The other acts with discipline and allows opportunity to appear through consistent action. Financial discipline, according to ancient wisdom, often rests on three essential pillars. The first pillar is immediate separation. Wealth builders do not wait until the end of the month to see what remains. They separate portions immediately. A portion for saving, a portion for investing, a portion for growth. This simple habit creates structure, and structure creates clarity, and clarity creates momentum. And momentum, practiced consistently, transforms ordinary decisions into extraordinary financial outcomes over time. When you receive money, the first thing you do is separate it. Not later, not after paying bills, not after spending. Immediately. A portion for giving, a portion for saving, a portion for investing, before anything else. This is not simply a budgeting technique. It is a declaration of mindset. It is a decision that you will govern your money instead of allowing money to govern you. This principle has been practiced for generations because it shifts your relationship with wealth. When you separate first, you send a message to your mind and your actions. You declare that you trust there will be enough. You declare that you are building, not just surviving. And that simple act begins to create order, discipline, and long-term momentum. The second pillar is avoiding consumer debt. There is an ancient teaching that explains this clearly. The one who borrows becomes a servant to the one who lends. This does not mean all debt is harmful. Wealth builders understand that debt used to build assets can be powerful leverage. But debt used for consumption becomes a chain. One creates growth, the other creates dependence. Wealth builders use borrowed resources to acquire assets that generate income, appreciate in value, or create opportunity. Others borrow to finance temporary pleasures that lose value quickly. One decision builds freedom, the other quietly builds pressure. The third pillar is conscious management. It is the understanding that every unit of money has a purpose. Every decision carries long-term consequences. This does not mean being overly restrictive. It means being intentional. Spend on what matters. Invest in what grows. Eliminate what drains. Each dollar becomes like a worker assigned to a mission. You decide whether it will build your future or weaken your stability. This mindset transforms small decisions into long-term results. There is a powerful example that illustrates this principle. A woman earned less than many of her peers. While others financed expensive vehicles, she quietly purchased small income-generating properties. While others traveled on borrowed money, she invested in education and skill development. Years passed. The difference became visible. She built financial independence. Others remained burdened by obligations. The difference was not luck. It was discipline practiced consistently. Many people see discipline as limitation. Wealth builders see discipline as future freedom. Because every decision today becomes an opportunity tomorrow. Every moment of patience becomes long-term stability. There is another powerful idea. Financial discipline shapes character. It builds integrity. It builds reliability. It builds respect. Because someone who cannot manage money often struggles to manage life. Discipline in finances reflects discipline in thinking. This leads to the deeper truth. The difference between wealth and poverty is not only money, it is mindset. This is not motivational theory. It is a pattern observed across generations. There is a powerful story illustrating this. Two groups faced the same challenge. One saw giants and obstacles. The other saw opportunity and possibility. Same circumstances, different mindset. And the outcome followed mindset. Some people see scarcity everywhere. Others see opportunity within difficulty. One mindset creates fear. The other creates action. One mindset retreats, the other advances. This is where wealth truly begins. Wealth begins in thinking. Some people say there is never enough. Others believe value creation generates opportunity. Some say money is difficult to obtain. Others understand money flows towards solutions. This shift in thinking transforms decisions, and decisions transform outcomes. Another powerful principle explains that the external world often reflects internal thinking. When the mind is focused on scarcity, actions reflect hesitation. When the mind is focused on opportunity, actions reflect creativity. This is not mystical, it is behavioral. During times of crisis, some individuals collapse, others build. History repeatedly shows that those who maintain long-term thinking during uncertainty often create wealth when others retreat. They invest when fear dominates. They build when others withdraw. They see possibility where others see risk. The uncomfortable truth is that many people reinforce limitation through repeated thoughts. Each time someone believes improvement is impossible, they strengthen hesitation. Each time someone avoids learning from successful individuals, they reinforce stagnation. Each time someone justifies their current situation instead of improving it, they extend limitation. Wealth builders constantly ask themselves different questions. What opportunities exist in this situation? What skill can I develop? What asset can I build? What relationship can I strengthen? These questions shape direction. Direction shapes action. Action shapes results. There is also a deeper connection between giving and abundance. When someone gives from a mindset of trust, even in small amounts, they shift their internal perspective. They move from fear to confidence, from scarcity to growth. And this shift influences decisions that follow. Those who hold tightly out of fear often remain stuck. Those who circulate resources strategically often create movement. Movement creates opportunity. Opportunity creates growth. Wealth building begins with mental reprogramming, moving from scarcity to abundance, from reaction to creation, from spectator to participant. We have explored a powerful journey: order replacing chaos, planting before harvesting, long-term vision replacing short-term thinking, discipline replacing impulse, mindset replacing limitation. But here is the truth: none of this matters without action. Knowledge without action changes nothing. Understanding without implementation remains theory. Wealth is built through decisions, through consistent habits, through disciplined thinking. So the question becomes simple: what will you do differently tomorrow? Will you continue reacting to money, or will you begin governing it? Will you continue consuming, or will you begin investing? Will you continue focusing only on today, or will you begin building your future? The principles are clear. The patterns are proven. The path has been revealed. Now the responsibility becomes yours. You do not need to change everything today, but you must begin. One decision, one habit, one action. Choose to think differently. Choose to act with discipline. Choose to plant even when results are not visible. Because when you do, momentum begins. And when momentum begins, transformation follows. If you reached this moment, it means something inside you is ready for change. So take a moment and write in the comments: I plant today, I harvest tomorrow. Declare it with intention. Turn knowledge into commitment. And if this message awakens something in you, share this video with someone who needs to hear it. Because truths that change lives should not remain hidden. They should circulate. They should grow. They should multiply. Subscribe now to Unlimited Wealth Awakening and continue this journey with us. Because this is not just one video, this is a path toward financial clarity, disciplined thinking, and long-term abundance. And if you are ready to go deeper, continue watching the Unlimited Wealth Awakening playlist. Each video is designed to reshape your thinking, strengthen your discipline, and help you build wealth step by step. Your journey does not end here. It begins here. The seed has been planted. Now it is time for you to grow,